Tonight, we're going to be talking with a band that has a unique name and a unique mindset when it comes to their music. As Yourself. Say who you are and what you do in the band.
I'm Craig. I'm the bass player.
I'm Ty. I play drums.
I'm Tony. I play guitar.
I'm Jacob. I play guitar and do lead vocals.
Well, it was a little like Pink Floyd. I guess that was kind of misleading. Which one of you is As Yourself? I don't. The whole band. Okay, I get it. How would you classify your music?
I'd say we're, as simple as it sounds, just rock. I mean, I'd hate to say alternative rock or something like that, but it is heavily inspired by alternative rock, 90s rock, things like that.
Where do you call home?
It's actually Middle Tennessee because we're spread all over the place.
So one here, one there, so you just kind of drop each other off on the way home from a gig and hope the other one makes it?
Yep.
Pretty much.
Where do you guys mostly play at?
Actually, all over the place. I'd say right now we most frequent the Murfreesboro area simply because we're getting a lot of booking in that area. But aside from that, Nashville, Middle Tennessee area.
It's a pretty active community down in the borough. I know we've had the Acorn people. We've had them in a time or two, or at least once. Great band from that area, and then a few others. I think you guys have actually worked with another band we recently had on, White Noise.
Yeah. Craig and I, we actually we own a studio, and we recorded their. We've actually done about 30 songs with them over the past couple of years. So
when you say you make the music, you mean you actually make the music, not just for you, but for others.
Right.
Yes.
Well, we're going to get into your music tonight. We're going to talk about a couple of your songs, get to play them a little bit later on, and we'll do that as we continue with As Yourself tonight on the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. Well, we touched on it earlier, but not only do they make their own music, they help other musicians make music too with the studio, and they're getting ready to do some touring too. It's As Yourself tonight on the 9 o'clock news local edition here on Rock 93.7. Four gentlemen from, as they said, Middle Tennessee. Where did it start at?
Jacob and I actually started in McMinnville, Tennessee. We got together at a young age, and we decided making music is what we wanted to do, and we did.
So a couple guys from Mactown hook up with...
A couple guys from Murfreesboro.
Right.
Okay. I think you actually started with another band that kind of transitioned over. What was the original band?
Yeah, we were in a band called Steady Fall. That was where it all kind of started, the concept, and then we kind of parted ways there for a few years, and Tony created As Yourself. As I was doing my own little acoustic thing, they really took off and did well, and I ended up back in the picture, and it felt like I was back at home.
So that's how Jacob and Tony fall into this. So how did Craig and Ty fall into this?
Once I'd actually started the As Yourself moniker, I decided that I was going to have my friends around. I wanted to start a group that it was more about the music than anything else. We weren't too concerned about playing shows at first, things like that. That's when Craig originally came in. We had another drummer at the time, and he left for personal reasons. He's still one of our best friends, and Ty was gracious enough to bring his talent into the band.
So you drummed him out?
Not quite. I was in the start actually playing guitar, and then moved to bass. I actually replaced Taylor, who was our former drummer.
So you've had a few personnel changes. You've kind of changed it up a little bit, but as you said, it's about your friends in this project and everybody working together. The moniker As Yourself comes into play because?
Well, I mean, it comes from the from the old saying, treat your neighbor as yourself. We live in a society where so many people are. We're from to give you a little story, we're from a place that we call wave country. Like whenever you're driving down the road and you wave your hand at somebody while you're driving, the other person waves back if they don't do it first. And we believe in treating other people with respect. And, being really nice to people and friendly with them.
The nice thing is that's a lot of places around here.
Yeah.
So, and I've actually driven through where you're talking about, right. So I know what you're talking about.
Wave country.
Well, you took that mentality into your music too, and you guys have gotten together. Is it a first full album or an EP?
No, this one's an EP. We're making our way towards an album right now. We're actually working on writing that at the moment. We decided when we first started doing this, I was coming up with a lot of the riffs, and as we were piecing each other together, we decided to stick with a lot of the riffs that I had and had almost completely written. Craig and I wrote, and Jacob, came in with the lyrics and gave it the real feel that we needed. Basically what makes us As Yourself is a combination of, what Craig and I had started out writing and then Jacob's great lyrics.
You guys have also taken it into video form. Whose idea was that?
All of us wanted
That's
to do
everybody.
a video.
Yeah.
Was that just selfie craziness or was it?
Yeah. I mean, we're a big DIY band. We do everything ourselves. Everything you see in the video, we did in-house. Like it's our camera, our everything, editing, post-production, all that stuff like that. The recording, we recorded at mine and Craig's studio. We did everything ourselves, and we were like, "Hey, let's take it to the next level. Let's do a music video."
And you guys have the video up online, and it is for the song "Rise of the Flatline." Where does the song come from?
It really comes from. There was a time in my life I was really at a low point, and just kind of like I was on the couch for a good couple years, out of work and all that good stuff. A lot of depression. And one day I finally just, I got up and I decided, I felt like I was dead inside and out. And I decided to conquer that and rise above it. So it kind of felt like I came back to life. So it was kind of like a rise of the flatline.
Yeah, the flatline signifies, flatlining on like a heart monitor, things like that, and you rise above that line.
Yeah,
Back from the Dead was a little too creepy, I think.
Yeah, sorry
Rise
about
of the Flatline probably works best. How about if we share that with them now? It's Rise of the Flatline. It's As Yourself on the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. Rocking along tonight with As Yourself on the 9 o'clock news local edition here on Rock 93.7. Hit up the website. You can find out details about how you could be on this show doing what they're doing tonight at rock937online.com. You guys reached out and sent us your stuff through there and kind of had a chance to. You're up on Reverb Nation, so I checked out your stuff there, and you've got a few songs up there that they can kind of listen to. I think we touched on earlier, you've already got a video put together, and you guys are planning to hit the road. You're hooking up wherever you can with like big name bands.
Absolutely.
Saving Abel?
Yeah. We just had a show with Saving Abel, which was, is great. And, we're looking for more things like that. We're currently negotiating more shows later on in the summer.
How do you land a chance to open for Saving Abel?
By being awesome.
I believe the owner of Main Street Music, where we played, contacted Ty, our drummer, and from what I understand was pretty much out of all the bands that play there, he asked us, do you want to play open up for Saving Abel? And the funny thing is, Ty actually texted all of us and asked us first. So,
Yeah.
Really? You had to ask them? I thought they would say no.
that's how awesome Ty is.
I'm just very considerate of my friends.
But
Hey, listen, there's this really big band that would like us to be their opener. You guys wouldn't want that.
It was nice though. I mean, the fact that they handpicked us, and he told us that. He said, out of all the people that wanted on, we handpicked you because the times that we have played there, it's been amazing, and the response is great.
Oh, if anybody does get a chance in Murfreesboro, please do check out Main Street Music. It is one of the best concert venues around.
If you're in the borough, that's the place to go
If
for
you're in
music.
the borough, that is definitely the place to go.
Well, we're always on the lookout for great places to check out bands. And the thing about it is you're telling me that you had the chance to do it because of him, but really it comes down to the hard work you guys put in. I mean, it's one of those stories where if you want the connections, you've got to make the connections.
Right.
And that comes from getting out in the clubs. So you said you travel all over. Is that part of what you're going for?
Absolutely. We like to do the regional thing where we're not going to overplay an area. We're not going to play Nashville 6 times in a row. We'll go Nashville, Chattanooga, Atlanta, and we'll branch out towards South Carolina, like a little mini tour type deal. And we'll do those a little at a time. And that's what we're planning on doing this summer as well. It's been effective for us so far, and really been a good thing.
So we're hoping for more bigger gigs like that. We're hoping to get spread out a little bit further. And how often do you actually get the chance to go out and do these performances?
We do at least 2 a month, and that's at a minimum. Like this month, we've probably had close to
Probably 4 or 5.
4 or 5, if not a few more. And of course, that's including some of the radio ones we're doing. But we try to stay extremely active.
We would love to get in on some sort of festival also. That would be awesome, I think.
Well, you guys have
Stepping
built
stone
your
for
own
us.
studio, and you're working from that. Have you thought about starting your own festival?
Hey,
It's funny you mentioned that because we have, but we have friends that White Noise, for example.
Well, I know we talked to White Noise recently, and they had said that they're doing it's name changing right now,
Right.
so it's not really solid. But coming up this summer, they're going to be having something down by the river that they're going to have music there.
Yeah, this would be like their second annual type deal. We're not really too much in the reggae portion of the scene, which is kind of what they lean towards.
we respect it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're and that's we can't say enough good things about those guys. And we're maybe gonna eventually form something like that is more along those lines that they do. Maybe turn it into something else, that's on that side of things.
Just
for
a
us.
little more rock and roll, I guess.
Well, they've got plans, and we're going to hear about some more of them and some more of their music, too, as we continue tonight with As Yourself on the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. From getting the opportunity to open for some bigger name bands to just making their own big name. We're talking tonight with As Yourself on the 9 o'clock news local edition here on Rock 93.7. You guys earlier, we listened to one of your tracks. You guys have gotten an EP together. How many songs are on the actual EP?
There are 6 songs on the EP.
And you're heading towards a full album, I think you said. You want to go ahead. So are these 6 songs going to be re-included later, or do you have a whole nother set?
No, we actually have a whole nother set. What we're planning on doing is, we want to be able to give back to the fans because we have a lot of dedicated fans that come to our shows. And one way we're going to be able to give back to them is once we do come out with this album, this previous one is going to be included in it. So, it's like, hey, if you don't have our previous one, which a lot of them do, we're going to say, hey, here you go, download card or whatever format we have it in. That way they can get that one as well.
You have a variety of influences. I noticed up on Reverb, you mentioned maybe like 3, I think. Breaking Benjamin, that's a good one, which, who knows, you may end up landing with them at some point. They keep coming back around here.
I would say yes. Yeah.
One of their members has ended up, is actually one of the new members, is actually from over around Knoxville way. So
Yeah.
anything's possible, just saying. But
Just
you list
holla.
them as an influence. You also list Starset as one of your influences. So do you guys put the extra element of show into your show like that?
Yeah, Starset's very production based. They're very, very good. And that was one of the things that we wanted to incorporate. Like we'll never be the band that fakes anything. But we do believe in tightness and production. I mean, it is a show after all. When people come, they want to be entertained, and we definitely want to give it to them. And it's only getting better every time we do it.
So does that mean they've got you wearing the helmet now? Is that
Just exactly, yes.
okay? Well, maybe you're not strapping on the helmets to go out on stage. Those are just a couple of influences, and I'm seeing you're rocking shirts tonight. I've got a Johnny Cash T-shirt and a Foo Fighters T-shirt, which. Yes. That's not far apart for me, school-wise, anyways. What are some of your other influences that have affected the music you're making?
I'd say a big one for Jake and I is Silverchair.
Silverchair. I love my Silverchair, man. I don't know where I'd be without the Foo Fighters and Silverchair.
What about you?
Michael Sweet.
Striper reference, nice. Nothing but mad
my man.
respect for the Striper. What about you?
For me, it's probably Chevelle.
I hear hints of that in your music.
I think that's
Especially
pretty
the Pain.
clear. Yeah.
We love Chevelle.
Yeah,
all of us
we have a
love
song
Chevelle.
called we have a song called The Pain that's very similar to that. It's actually not directly inspired by them, but during that time frame, I was listening to a lot of Chevelle. So that's probably why that came out.
Whenever you listen to these things and they do inspire you, how hard is it to keep that inspiration from getting into what you're writing?
It can be difficult, especially coming up with melodies and how you sing the song. You'll be in the studio and you'll be like, man, you know what? That sounds a little too much like a Chevelle song. So you got to kind of tone it down and really just tinker around. And
It's a fine line between inspired and imitating.
exactly.
It is, and like we said before, we won't be the band that ever imitates or fakes anything. It's not difficult for us to say come up with a riff and then progress into something that becomes the song. We'll have a bunch that we pick through and we say, okay, this is the ones that we feel are the best so far, and we'll work on it from there.
One of those that you picked for the EP was Get a Life.
Yes.
Is that an exclamation to an X or something along those lines?
Yes, it is.
Well, that was a joke that wasn't as much of a joke as I thought.
Yeah, I dated a girl for the pretty long time, and it just kind of the words explain it all. She really made it hard for me to
Jacob is
to
our
have a
Taylor
life.
Swift.
What does that mean?
It's the words. Well, to make it simple, we say we're very metaphoric when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like Get a Life, for example, may have been originally written about an ex-girlfriend. You make it hard for me to get a life. That's kind of the punchline there. But people can relate to it so many ways. We've even had people come up to us and say, is this song about this? And it won't be. But that's how they relate to it.
Well, that's the thing about music. It speaks to each person individually, and that's the great thing about a good song. Well, let's see what it says to everyone now.
All right.
It's Get a Life. It's As Yourself on the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. We've had a conversation tonight with As Yourself covering quite a few things. How they started out as a side project and then became themselves, I guess, fitting enough. It's the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. Tonight talking with As Yourself. You guys, appreciate you coming in. As you said earlier, you're from all over Tennessee, so I know it was quite the travel.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's still a definite pleasure to be here.
We have touched on your EP that you did. You got 6 songs on that. Where can they go to get that?
We're on Amazon MP3, iTunes, Spotify, and countless other places. I think it's actually over 100. I couldn't even name all of them at the moment. But, the main social media websites that you could go to, Facebook, Instagram, they will all lead you to those places.
So look for them on Facebook to start and then kind of go from there. Reverb Nation, I think I mentioned that earlier, that you do have some stuff up there. And you guys, you're pretty current as far as posting what's going on with that.
We definitely like to stay up, for sure. I mean, we definitely believe in connecting with the fans consistently.
We are definite go-getters.
Yes. Also, we always have physical copies for sale at our shows, too. So if someone wants to check us out on Facebook, we list our shows. They can certainly show up, meet us at the merch table, and buy a physical copy of the CD as well.
And we have one for you if you don't already have one.
I will take that.
Excellent.
Nobody else gets my copy. You've got to get your own, but it's not that hard to get. You can go check out where they've got it online. One at the show is probably the best one to get, I'm going to say, because
That is the
Absolutely.
best one.
that way you get a chance to hear how it sounded live.
Yes.
Go.
So are we working towards a live CD too, so they get the full experience?
You know,
No?
like I said, we are up for almost anything.
Well, they've even got a video online too, so you can go check that out. I think we mentioned that earlier. So everything online that you need starts a couple places, Facebook or Reverb Nation. As yourself, I want to thank you guys for coming in to talk with us.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. Yes.
It's the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7.